students. Today in the series of videos regarding SSLC syllabus, I am going to discuss a very important chapter in the history, that is social and religious reform movement. This chapter is very important because in this chapter it is very easy to score more marks, and it is also very easy to understand the chapter. And here in this chapter, very important questions are asked in the question, there is a examination, and this is a lengthy chapter. In the beginning of the chapter, I want to tell you, while you are going to listen the chapter, you keep one of a notebook, and where I give stress and important points where I refer, those points you have to enter, and the points which I write on the board, that also very key points for your examination point of view. Let us try to know about this social and religious reform movement. First thing what we have to know about is, what is this reform? We have to know the meaning of the reform. Reform is an attempt to fight against any type of discrimination. If one thing is not a favorable thing and it is having a negative aspects, and in order to remove those negative aspects or any type of discrimination, any type of exploitation, and that effort is called as a reform. Reform is a effort. It is a effort against discrimination or a type of exploitation. What is the conditions in a particular period, those to be removed and a favorable conditions to be brought, that is the aim of this reform. And here in our Indian society, there are many kinds of evils were in existence, as well as exploitation was in existence, discrimination was in existence. In order to remove that kind of discriminations, exploitations, here this kind of social reforms were started, and it is what is the aim of this reformation? Here the aim of the reformation is to uphold the dignity and position of the men, and that is the individual self-respect. Upholding individuals' self-respect. Already in the beginning I told you, whatever important points I refer on the board, you have to write in your notebook also. That will be act as a key points for you. Upholding individual self-respect was the aim of social reformation or any reformation that is took place during that time. Here in this chapter, we have to know about what are the factors, which factors are responsible for the social reformation in our India. One by one, I am going to refer here the factors. Now the factors which led to the social reformation. Factors led to social reformation. There are so many factors which are responsible for social reformation, and here I am going to refer some of the important factors which led to the social reformation. Particularly, the first one is the 19th century. 19th century is referred as awakening period. The Indians got awakened regarding the various problems of Indian society, as well as methods to how to solve those problems. Such a kind of awakening took place during the 19th century. It is one of the important factor. And next is the English education. English education is also one of the important factor which helped for the social reformation. Here with the English education, many educated class emerged in our India. That is a educated class. Educated class emerged and they got the modern knowledge. the knowledge of science and various subjects. They got the knowledge of those subjects. It also helped for the social reformation. English education is also one of the important factor. And here, with the help of this education, they came to know about the various concepts like awareness about democracy, equality, freedom, fraternity. These aspects or these concepts were aware by the Indians. Earlier, these concepts are not known by the Indians. Now, with the help of English education, they came to know about what is the democracy and what is the uses of democracy, concept of equality, freedom. These modern concepts were well aware by the Indians with the help of English education. It is also one of the important factor. And here another important factor is the British also show their intention to reform Indian society. British show interest in reforming Indian society. How? Because these Britishers considered Indians as white man's burden. They considered Indians as a white man burden. They considered Indians as burden. They wanted to civilize Indian society. In their sense, Indians are uncivilized, and their purpose, and they have the responsibility to reform the Indian society in order to civilize Indians. It was also a factor which helped for the social reformation. And here Indians started understanding Indian tradition in a new perspective. That is the Indians started understanding Indian society in new perspective, in a new view. They try to understand Indian society and the intention of reforming Indian society. These are the important things. And here now the Indians got a sense of a new identity as Indian. Earlier they were divided into various provinces and they have their own identity, because India at that time consists of many provinces, many kingdoms. But now here another important factor which helped for the social reformation, that is the Indian identity. Indian identity. Earlier they were divided into various identities. Now a one identity came into existence, that is the we are Indians. These are the important factors here what I have referred here. These factors are responsible for the social reformation in India. Now after knowing about the meaning of the reform and the meaning of social reformation and the factors which are responsible for the social reformation, now we are going to know about the various reformations as well as the important persons who are responsible for this social reformation. As you know, in India there are many issues are there, and those issues and those problems were to be solved, because Indian society during that time was facing many important social problems, like the problem of caste discrimination, problem of untouchability, problem of that is a child marriage, restriction on widow remarriage, and so many problems were there in Indian society, and those problems are to be solved and the Indian society is to be reformed. In that category, many important personalities they done their good job for reforming Indian society. That may be in the first name Raja Ram Mohan Roy, Dayanand Saraswati, Jyotiba Phule, M.G. Ranade, Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, then Swami Vivekananda, and even the other various persons are there. And here in this next category we are going to know about one person's contribution and their reforms here. The first person here we have to know about Raja Ram Mohan Roy. Raja Ram Mohan Roy. This person is considered as the father of Indian modern Renaissance, and he had much contributed for the Indian reforming society. Here, as far as this person is concerned, here this he got a early education in various languages. He had a very perfect in different kind of cultural aspects, and got a good knowledge of that is many things, like he got education in Sanskrit and even Arabic, Persian, English, Hebrew, and many language education he got. He got education in all these language, and came to know about the different cultures of the world, not only of India, even the other cultures also he came to know. That is, he studied the Quran as well as Vedas as well as Bible, and even the Jewish book, and many other religious books also he studied, and he came to know about the various aspects of all religions, good aspects of all religions, and in this manner this person is responsible for the reforming Indian society. And in the beginning, this person started one of a association called Atmiya Sabha. Atmiya Sabha. It is the first association which was started by Rajaram Mohan Roy, and many people associated with this Atmiya Sabha, and exchange their ideas, discuss, and debates were took place in this Atmiya Sabha. Later on, this person is a initiator of this reformation, and for that purpose he started one of important association, one of important organization, that is called as Brahmo Samaj. The initiator or the founder of Brahmo Samaj. With an intention of solving various Indian problems as well as highlighting the various Indian problems, this Brahmo Samaj was, that is established by this person in 1828. 1828, the Brahmo Samaj was established, and the intention was in order to remove the social evils. Remove social evils in Indian society, and particularly the evils of caste system, and the evil of that is a sati system, and the evil of that is restrictions on women's rights, and again fighting against all these. Here this Brahmo Samaj was established, and he was one of important problem which was existed in that time was sati system, and Rajaram Mohan Roy was totally desperated, as well as he got affected by this sati system because of his one of important incident which took place in his family. And from beginning itself he was against this sati system and make effort, and because of his important efforts of this person, due to the effort of Rajaram Mohan Roy, at that time the Governor General of India by name William Bentinck, that is due to efforts of Raja Ram Mohan Roy. Here this Rajaram Mohan Roy's effort was very good one, and because of his effort at that time the William Bentinck, that is a pass act, and that is a prohibiting the practice of sati system, prohibition of sati system, prohibition of sati system in 1829. One of important act was passed prohibiting the practice of sati system. In this manner, it is the one of important contribution, one of important achievement of Rajaram Mohan Roy, that you have to remember. Next, here in order to take his feelings as well as his ideas to the people, he started one of a paper by name Kamwada Samudi. Kamwada Samudi. One of a important paper which was started by this person in order to convey his ideas to the people. In this manner, this Brahmo Samaj has many important contributions, and let us now try to know about what are the important principles and aspects of this Brahmo Samaj. Principles and aspects of Brahmo Samaj. For what purpose this Brahmo Samaj was? That is principles or aspects of Brahmo Samaj. The first important principle of this Samaj was monotheism. That is, one is monotheism. What is this monotheism? Monotheism means belief in one God. Belief in one God. According to this Raja Ram Mohan Rai, the creator, the sustainer, and here every one of this world is one God, and it is the concept which was upheld by this Brahmo Samaj as well as Raja Ram Mohan Rai. And second important principle is opposed the rituals. Those rituals which are considered as inhuman as well as against the humanity, such kind of rituals were condemned and opposed by this Raja Ram Mohan Rai. And here he upheld every person's live in dignity. Every person live in dignity. Every person is having his own dignity. Every person's dignity should be respected, and no one is inferior, no one is superior. This concept was upholded by this Samaj. That is, everyone is free to live in his own dignity. That is the one of important principle. And next is he opposed that is any kind of discrimination against the women. That's why he upheld the equality to women. Equality to women, and providing all type of rights to the women, even the share in the parents' property and many others that is aspects were highlighted by the Samaj. That is providing equality to women, and declared one can take good things from anywhere. It is one of the important concept of Raja Ram Mohan Rai. That is one can take good things from anywhere. Very good thing, good statement it is. You should not confine yourself or stick to one particular ideology, but here see everything, and what is good that you have to take, and what is bad that you have to give up, that is reject. In this manner, one can take good things from anywhere, from any society, any religion, anywhere you go, you take the good things from that place. It is the one of a very important aspect of Brahmo Samaj, and they oppose polygamy. They oppose polygamy as well as child marriage. That is even they oppose the sati system, and many kind of evils were opposed by this society, and they also give stress for the equality of the men with one another, and the importance of English education, importance to English education. According to Raja Ram Mohan Rai, we should get English education and broaden our knowledge, because during that time, even now also, you can find the importance of English. If we are having any kind of attachment towards any language, that is different thing, but we have to learn English if we want to expand our knowledge. It was said by even Raja Ram Mohan Rai in the 19th century. These are the important aspects of the Brahmo Samaj, or the principles of Brahmo Samaj. Because of his more contribution, many people have praised this Rajaram Mohan Rai and given their statements regarding the Rajaram Mohan Rai. Here I am going to refer one of important that is a statement by Rabindranath Tagore. Here Rabindranath Tagore, what he says that the Rajaram Mohan Roy is the harbinger of modern India or progenitor of social reformation, progenitor of social reformation, as well as he also called him as prophet of social reformation of Indian nationalism, Indian that is reformation, prophet of nationalism. These are the statements which were given by Rabindranath Tagore in the praise of Rajaram Mohan Rai. This much is regarding Rajaram Mohan Rai, about his early life, about his early education, as well as the establishment of Atmiya Sabha, later the establishment of Brahmo Samaj, and intentions of this Brahmo Samaj, as well as even the aspects and principles of Brahmo Samaj, as well as even the important achievement of Rajaram Mohan Rai regarding the abolition or prohibition of sati system and the Act of 1829 by William Bentinck. These things I referred here. If you point out these important points in your notebook, it will be very helpful for you in the preparation for the examination. Okay, after this, let us go to the another important social reformer of our Indian society, who is also having a very important contributions in the field of social reformation. And before that, we are going to know about another important moment here. Here also we are going to refer one of the important person, that is the Young Bengal movement. During the 19th century, it is also one of the important movement which took place even in Bengal, because during that time Bengal was the center of education, and Bengal was known for the intellectuals as well as the reformers, and a good position was there for creating social reformers in the Bengal. That is the Young Bengal movement. This movement was started by one of a person by name Louis Vivan Dorzio. Louis Vivan Dorzio. Who is that person? That person was his father was a Portuguese as well as mother was a Indian. The couple of this the couple was of the Portuguese as well as Indian, but his father was also living in India and married a Indian woman, and to them a son was born, that is Louis Vivan Dorzio. And this person at a very early age, he got a good education and good knowledge, as well as even he became the professor of Hindu University. At a very early age, professor of Hindu University or college at Calcutta. Because of his ideas, because of his thinking, the students get attracted towards him, and he instilled the spirit of inquiry. Very important thing here we have to refer. Instill spirit of inquiry. Don't accept anything which comes before you without any kind of inquiry. First you make inquiry. You have to search the truth in the concept, then only you accept. This kind of thinking and this kind of feelings were in the Dorzio, as well as those who were filled in the students of Dorzio. Because of this reason, here he wanted many reforms. Particularly, he wanted the reforms in the textbook, creating textbooks and reforming the education, new education system, new education system. As in our present time also, many times new education policies were made. In this concept was put forward by Dozier that the education will be go on changing. New changes to be brought in the system of education, and for that purpose in 1828 he established one of association by name Academic Association. Academic Association was established by this person Dozier, and because of his rational thinking, because of his liberal thinking, here he wanted that is removal of the superstitions. He was against the superstitions. One should free from clutches of superstitions, because according to him, Indian society during that time is filled with many superstitions, the blind beliefs, and those to be removed, and the society is to be reformed. According to Dozier, here one should be free from the clutches of these superstition. It was also one of the important reform. And here he advocated women's rights, opposed the caste system, advocated women's rights, opposed caste system. Because of these thinking, because of these feelings of Dozier, the people at that time they thought that the Dozier is misleading the youths, and they thought that our young generation is going away from our hands. This kind of feelings were started, and even in the university where Dozier was working, there was a lot of opposition. Even in his that is staff persons and colleagues also opposed the ideas of Dozier. Because of that reason, this person has to resign. This person has to resign from the job in order to give more time for the movement. And in this manner, this person was at a very early age, at the age of 22 years, just at the age of 22 years, he was died because of a disease called cholera. Because of the cholera disease, he was died at a very young age of 22 years. It was the very important contributions of Louis Vivian Dozier, and the important movement which was started by him, that is the Young Bengal movement, and it is having its own contribution in the field of social reformation in Indian society. After that, let us go to the another important social reformer of our India, that is Dayananda Saraswati. Dayanand Saraswati. This Dayananda Saraswati was a well-known social reformer, and as far his early life is concerned, he was born in 1824. That is he was born in 1824 in Kathiawar, Gujarat. And his early name was Mool Shankar was his early name, and his name of the father, was Amba Shankar. Father Amba Shankar, father, and in this manner the mother was Amruta Bai. They were the parents, and at an early life he got a education in Sanskrit. Later he left his home at a very early age. At the age of 21 years, he left the home. At the age of 21 years, left home, and he traveled from one place to another place for a very long time, for a period of 15 years. He roamed the Indian society. He saw the conditions of Indian society. He wrote his ideas in a book called Satyartha Prakash. Satyartha Prakash. The book was written by this Dayananda Saraswati. In that book, he wrote the important ideas of his Samaj, or about his various reformers. Here, now, the important thing about this Dayananda Saraswati is he established this Arya Samaj. That is, he established the Arya Samaj, and now we have to know about the important concepts of this Arya Samaj that is established by Dayananda Saraswati. Arya Samaj. He established that Samaj in Bombay in the year 1875. 1875 at Bombay. This Samaj was established, and in order to express his ideas, in order to take his ideas to the people, this Samaj was established, and the head office of this Samaj was also in Lahore. Head office of the Samaj at Lahore presently, that is in Pakistan, and there he established that head office. And one of a very important thing about this Dayananda Saraswati, what he said is Vedas are authentic. Vedas are authentic. They are having authenticity. They are having truthness. And that was the very important concept of Dayananda Saraswati. He stressed upon the Vedas, and he said back to Vedas. We have to go back for Vedas. Back to Vedas. Our modern knowledge and each and everything is also hidden in Vedas, and truth is hidden in Vedas. If we follow our old traditions of Vedas, then nothing problem, no problems will be finding in our Indian study. The solution for all problems of India is in Vedas. It is a very one of important good thing which was stressed by Dayananda Saraswati. Now after that, let us try to know about the principles or aims of that is Brahma Arya Samaj. Aims of Arya Samaj. Aims. Yeah, the first one of important aim is believe in one formless God. Believe in one formless God. He also, like that is Rajaram Mohan Roy, he also said believe in one God, and even that is also having, that is formless. God is having no image. He is having no any kind of that is a known image. That is one of important thing. Formless God is one of important principle of Dayananda Saraswati. And no one is Shudra. No one is Shudra or Brahmin by birth. Everyone is equal in birth. No one is born as a Shudra and no one born as a Brahmin. We have divided this society into Shudra and Brahmin. It is not the creation of the God, but it is the creation of the man. It is the one of the important concepts that told by Dayananda Saraswati, and he advocated for intercaste marriage. Intercaste marriage. Intercaste marriages. He supported this one because in that time, during that time, it was the caste system was very rigid. There were intercaste marriages were considered as a crime, but he advocated intercaste marriages during that time, and he also opposed polygamy, child marriage, and also that is advocated the widow remarriage, also advocated by this person. And he said men and women are equal. Men and women are equal, no one is superior, man is not superior upon woman. This was the advocated of this Arya Samaj. It is also then he told the study Vedas, as in the beginning also I told you, he give more stress upon that is the Vedas, and he told that is study Vedas. The truth is found in the Vedas. It is also one of the important things. And here, while referring about the Dayanand Saraswati, and one of the important moment he started, that is called as Shuddhi moment. Shuddhi moment. According to this moment, those people who are converted from that is a Hindu religion to Islam and Christianity, and in order to get those people back into Hinduism, this movement was started by Dayanand Saraswati, reconversion. The main aim of this movement was reconversion of, that is Hindus who converted to Islam and Christianity. It was the aim of this Shuddhi movement, and that movement was started by Dayananda Saraswati, and he got influence upon many important freedom fighters of our India. Particularly, I am going to refer one important person who got much influence from him. That was Lala Lajpat Rai. Lala Lajpat Rai got influence from this Dayananda Saraswati. Okay, this is about Dayananda Saraswati, about his early life, about the writing of a particular book, Satyartha Prakasha, as well as establishment of Arya Samaj, and the important objectives and aims of Arya Samaj. After knowing this person, let us go to the another important social reformer, another important social reform movement, that is Prarthana Samaj. Prarthana Samaj. This Prarthana Samaj was started by one of the important person by name Atma Ram Panduranga. Atma Ram Panduranga. This Samaj was established in the year 1867. 1867, in the same place what Arya Samaj was founded, that is in Bombay in the year 1867. And here, what are the important aims of this Prarthana Samaj, and what are the important intentions of Atma Ram Panduranga? Here, that is find solutions. Find solutions to the problems of our India, and that is particularly the problem of women. Find solution to problems of women and castes. That is the women's exploitation, caste exploitation are very common in our India, and here we have to find the solution for those problems, the problems of women and the problems of caste. And he argued interpretation of Indian culture, interpretation of Hinduism in modern sense. We have to interpret and we have to explain this in the that is modern sense, or in the Western sense. We have to explain the Hinduism. It is the intention of this Samaj. And reformation should not be wish. Very important thing here we have to know is that he said reformation should not be wish, but practical. What we are reforming, it should be practical. It should not only in a book or in our words, but it should be brought in practice. It was the argument of this Prarthana Samaj, Atma Ram Panduranga. And he also, that is women's, give importance for the women's education, for the providing equality to women. Many schools were started, many schools for women's. Then rehabilitation rehabilitation programs for women's. These are the programs which were undertaken by this Samaj, and here these are the important aims and contributions of the Samaj. And after this Atmaram Panduranga, the very important Prarthana Samajist was M.G. Ranade. Here we have to know about some of the important contributions or achievements of M.G. Ranade, who associated with Prarthana Samaj and also advocated many things. That is M.G. Ranade, Mahadev Govind Ranade. What as a Prarthana Samajist, he also advocated the same things what were advocated by Prarthana Samaj, that is reject the child marriage, advocated widow remarriage, and many other things also advocated that this person, and there should not be any kind of discrimination against the Shudras, opposed caste discrimination, as well as even very important thing here about Ranade is there should be legal institution, there should be a legal intervention is must in order to stop all types of exploitation. Very important thing here we have to know about is advocated legal intervention to solve problems. Which problems? Social problems. In this manner, these are the contributions of the M.G. Ranade. Till this, I have referred some of the important social reformers and social reform movement, and here in the next video, the other movements I am going to refer. For that purpose, you have to, that is like this video as well as subscribe the channel, and even share the video to the others. Thank you.